Hello, welcome back. I am about to get started with some life-changing magic of tidying up, and I'm going to focus on my books. So I am about to launch on the path of touching every single one of my books and asking if it sparks joy. I am not allowed to open the book and start reading it. I just simply have to touch it, and if it gives me, as the author says, a thrill of pleasure, I can keep it. If I haven't read it, the author says that sometime equals never. If I bought it a long time ago and haven't read it, it's time to go. It's sort of past its expiration point. Now, it might seem like I have a lot of books. It might seem like I don't have a lot of books. But once upon a time, I had a bunch of books actually stored in these paper rain boxes. I had anywhere from 8 to 10 boxes with me. I had a half dozen of those boxes with a friend who was storing them for years and years in his home in Philadelphia, and he even moved them with him several times. And then I also had a dozen or more of those paper rain boxes filled with books stored in my parents' attic. How did I get from there to what's behind me? The way that I got to a more diminished collection is with this book. It's called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. The author is Karen Kingston. This book is not the standard Feng Shui book where you're figuring out quadrants, etc. There is some of that in here, but much of the book focuses on the psychology of why people have clutter, why they collect the things that they do. Most of us would say, well, I collect books because I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I love them. They're comforting. Well, yes, but why? See, amongst all those books that I had way back when were university textbooks, and not just my university textbooks. I mean, that's crazy. I was well past my college years, and I was still holding on to textbooks, much of which was not even relevant to my life at the time or even currently. I read this book, and I realized why I was collecting and amassing so many books. I was actually able to let go of the ones that had no relevance or no bearing to my life at the time. Now, I do, from time to time, go through my books and assess whether or not these are relevant to me. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing today, only I'm going to be looking at it from a different angle, which is the angle that Marie Kondo talks about, and that is you take all of your books off the shelves, move them. If they're in piles, you have to move the piles around, take them out of boxes, and you must pick up each book and ask if it sparks joy. Here are all of my books laid out. Naturally, the smallest stack is the stack of books that I'm ready to part with right now. The one in the middle are some books that I'm on the fence about, so I'm thinking those probably need to go, but I might just touch them a second time, see if they really do spark joy or if I'm just being sentimental. For the work that I did in a half an hour, I feel like I made some decent progress, but I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I had hoped that the smaller stack, or at least the middle stack of books, would be more representative of what I wanted to keep, and that the two large piles would be representative of what I wanted to purge. But I was honest in my evaluation of the books. These do spark joy, and I don't know that I'm ever going to have a curated collection of, say, 10 books that are my greatest hits. I also think you need to be true to yourself. These books spark joy. Are these all my greatest hits books? To some degree, yes. In their category, they are. I think one thing that's important to remember is that everyone's journey or everyone's process for creating a life that they want is different, and it's a very individual path. For me, I do like streamlining. I like getting rid of the excess in my life, and sometimes excess creeps back in. But I make no judgments, and hopefully neither do you. But maybe there's an area of your life that sort of hangs over your head, and maybe you can find some inspiration to just bring everything out, put it out, take a good hard look at it, and think about each of those things. And if you really love them, if they're functional, if they're practical, and mostly, I think it's just be kind to yourself. This is a difficult process. It's physically exhausting, it's mentally exhausting, and it's emotionally exhausting. But I do think that having a life that feels easy, and a life in which you're surrounded by things that you love, things that have meaning, and things that have function, it's worth the effort. And you absolutely can do it. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.